Are you ready to meet the guy who wrote the book on life insurance policy? This is the CLU podcast, where every single season and every single week, we bring on a ton of amazing guest experts who thrive and love what they do. In season 1, we talked about entrepreneurship. Season 2 was all about digital nomads. Season 3 were for people who had multiple businesses. And right now on season 4, we're talking to a ton of amazing authors who are able to scale themselves by writing their own book. And every single week, we dive into their industry secrets. I'm your host, Lacaba. I am the co-founder of ChFC, an executive assistant outsourcing company in the Philippines. And I'm the author of CLU. Yes, the same name as this podcast. So if you're ready to ditch the grind, let's head over and scale you. Now, our guest today is part of the 1% of brokers in California who is licensed independent insurance analysts. As such, she provides expert insurance policy assessments for families and businesses. His 30 plus years of direct industry experience as an analyst and policy expert gives him the tools that he needs to proactively protect your interests, whether you're looking for a business policy evaluation or a personal evaluation. And of course, he's the author of How to Do a Proper Policy Review. No beneficiaries left behind. So guys, please help me welcome our guest today, Frank. Hey, Frank.
Good morning.
Good morning and good evening to you on your end of the world. So it's funny. What time is it on your end? I forgot to actually ask.
It is a little after 4 in the afternoon in California.
There you go. 6 a.m. in Thailand right now. So it's a little bit of a 14-hour difference. So yeah, we're doing good. So, Frank, I'm excited to dive into. I, of course, stalked you on LinkedIn a little bit right before this, but of course, I would love it for you to tell our audience, who was Frank before this? Like, how did you become the person that you are? What's kind of your part of the background of the life that you've led so far?
Okay. Well, I was having a very happy retirement is what happened. I'd been a full-service financial advisor for 3 decades, and I didn't need to do it any longer. So I retired and had a lovely time. But it was all about me, and that was great, but I got tired of it because I still had something to give back to the world, I thought. And I didn't want to go back into investments and things. It just... There's a few people I know that are as good as I was, and I now refer them. But nobody was doing life insurance the way that I thought it should be done, because it's a hard sell. It's a topic you don't want to talk about, and the truth is, most policies never pay a beneficiary, and people don't know that. You look at your 401k, your retirement plan. Your other financial things, but you don't look at the life insurance. People look at it as a contract, when what it really is a pile of money, and it's supposed to be there to protect somebody. So I decided that I was going to do things differently. Instead of reviewing existing insurance policies with the idea of finding you something better, what I wanted to do is put together a system where you could be comfortable that we were just looking at your existing policies and giving you the ins and outs so that you could make an intelligent decision or be comfortable with what you had. And the numbers haven't ever changed, unfortunately. For every 10 policies that a company issues, 2 of them, let me get the numbers up here. 2 go for the beneficiary. And 8 end up with the company never paying.
Wow.
If you're paying off a mortgage and you have a policy that's going to end when the mortgage is paid off, you know it's going to end. That's okay. But if the money's set aside so that when dad retires, there's still a nest egg for mom if he dies first, that's different. You don't want that to end.
Yeah.
And what happens is most of the time, it's 80% of the time it doesn't happen. So I wanted to protect grandma. And everybody told me I couldn't do that. It wouldn't work. So I put together the system so that it did work. And now now what I do is I look at these existing policies and show people how to fix them if they need fixing, or I verify that the money is going to be there for grandma.
Yeah.
And then I change the odds, man. It's from insurance companies 8, beneficiaries 2.
Switching it out.
We go insurance companies 2, beneficiaries 8. And that makes me feel good. So I put together something that didn't exist and started doing it.
That's super cool. And it's funny because like life insurance is something that I think it's other than just a contract. It's a little bit of admitting that you are going to pass. So like I can see how people can get very, very wary and a little not really believing it. And then the other side of it is it's very unselfish. It's very selfless because you're doing it for someone else. You're not going to see any of it because you're not going to be here. But it's such a big thing. So I want to dive into how did you get into that in the first place? Like, was it just the kind of the career path that you were set on, or was it something that you eventually like? Okay, I really like doing this. That this is my passion. This is what I want to do. What was that journey like?
Okay, I wrote it when I retired. I made a list, 30 things I haven't done in 30 years, and then I started doing them, and it was fun. It was fun, but. In about month 14, I was on number 28.
Whoa.
And, I could have made another list, but again, it was like, wait a minute, there's still some things I'd like to do. Where could I make a difference? And I've been a licensed life insurance agent for years. And we, as part of the process with my clients, we would review the policies just as we would their retirement plan and their other investments. So I was very familiar with it. But like you said, it's unpleasant and it's complicated. And who wants to talk about that? I'd rather go to the dentist.
Yeah.
So one of the things I had to do was take away the complexity and strip it down into something that's really simple, because you don't want to know which drill the dentist is going to use, right? And you don't want to know those things on your life insurance policy. So how about if we make it really simple? Here's what it means for you, and here's what to expect. And if there's something not right, here's how we can get around it and fix it. And I had to put that together in simple English in a specific way so that people knew that it wasn't a sales pitch. It was just, I wanted to look at your existing policies.
Yeah.
It's okay. Now, my previous career, I was a crew member on a submarine.
Ooh,
and we went around the North Atlantic, and somewhere along the line, I got hooked on the story of the Titanic. Okay. Well, because I was out there bouncing around a little bit and kind of the same area that the Titanic was. So what I found was it didn't have to happen. There were 5 different things that could have prevented that iceberg from being in front of the windshield. And if somebody had just told the captain, hey, skipper, if you just change the heading about 3 degrees to the left, you're not going to hit any ice fields. But nobody did. And that's my parallel. If you don't want to look at the policy, well, don't look at the policy, but look at what it means for grandma. And if I can put that into English, simple English, and make it completely open, so everything you want to know about the policy is there on one page, then you have a choice. Maybe I want to keep the policy, but I want to be sure that it's really going to be there. Not the policy. I want to make sure the money's going to be there when the beneficiary needs it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I wanted to do. So, and I had a few of my friends who told me, you can't do that. So that's why I did it.
It's funny how like the people that tell us like you can't do that. And you're like, yeah, I can. I've done it now. So it's a It's a funny thing that always gets us to bounce higher, is when someone says us something that we can't do, and we end up doing it anyway. I love that you're simplifying it, and with the way that you wrote out your book, with the way that you wrote out kind of that guide, what was that process like for you? Like, what was the path that you took to, like, okay, now I want to simplify and make it easy for people, and then putting into words? What was that process like during the time that you were doing it?
Oh, it was laborious. It was stressful. It was a work of passion and vision. And I wanted to get the words just right so that you didn't get bored after the 5th page, and that it was of value. And what I really did was I took all my secrets and I put them in the book in a simple to understand thing, so that anybody who reads the book can have a sense of what's important and why, and perhaps do these things on their own, which they also told me was crazy. You don't give away your secrets. Yeah, I really do. And so I've gotten a lot. I can now say I wrote the book on life insurance. Yeah, that's the cool thing. Is like after you do it, like, oh, I wrote a book about it. Like, oh, here you go. Instead of me giving you like 2-hour workshop, like, read it, and then like you can ask me questions afterwards even. If you need to. And but okay, the other thing is I'm a recovering perfectionist, okay? And so it took much longer to write the book, because I'd write it, I'd do the chapter, and then I'd obsess on it until I got it just right. And I had an outline. These are the chapters, but I wanted to get it right, so it took much longer.
How long did it take, out of curiosity?
I worked on it for 8 months.
Wow, still pretty fast. Mine took 3 years, so if that makes you feel better on the perfectionism, like mine took 3 years mostly because like I would write it and then I would pause so that I can, because I think part of it was because I did work for a publishing company before and I was an editor, so I would like put on my editor hat, make a lot of edits, and then like it looked like a whole chapter, and then the next thing. So I think that was why it took me 3 years. So you're still a better timeline.
Well, it's probably a smaller book. It's only, I don't remember how many pages it is. Less than 50. You can read it easily in an hour and just have it all. So, God, if I had to write a big long book like yours, it would take me 3 years. God bless you.
It was a lot of like motivation, and also just my assistant telling me like, "Hey, where's this?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I should probably work on that." And then eventually gave it to a publisher who then had more notes, and then I was like, oh, probably should have had let them do it instead of me doing it myself. So I totally understand. Well, what kind of, since writing and publishing your book, what kind of impact or feedback have you gotten? Like, what has been kind of your favorite, either like success story or just like generally like testimonial from people who've read your book?
People that have read the book really appreciate it. I don't get nobody dislikes the book. I was expecting some life insurance agents wouldn't like it, but nobody's ever said that. But first of all, the credibility, just the fact that you're an author makes a difference when you're looking for an introduction, and the fact that it's different. You can't find a book like mine on the topic, because who wants to talk about life insurance? Yeah. It's a difficult topic to talk about for sure. Right. So that's the biggest thing. It's been something easy to facilitate a dialogue for folks. And in California, any licensed agent can review your policy. But what's their motivation? True. And I was one of them. I reviewed policies and with all the best intentions in the world, but it still comes across like a sales thing, and people don't want to be sold something. Yeah. So years ago, I quit trying to sell stuff, Leanne. I really did.
Mhm.
I just wanted to give you enough information so if you wanted to, you could buy something. You didn't have to be sold something.
Yeah.
And that was part of the difference here. But in order to do that, I had to become independent, and I got a license as an analyst,
Mhm.
which allows me to be that. In fact, it requires me to be that independent.
Mhm.
So I charge a fee to review the policy, and there's an engagement letter that says we're going to do this, which includes going to the issuing company and getting specific information on that policy. Not, it's a Ford Falcon. No, it's like this Ford Falcon.
Mhm.
You don't even know what a Ford Falcon is, but it's a car.
Yeah. When you said the word Ford, I'm like, okay, it's a car.
Yeah, there you go. It's a car. So I get specific information on that car. How many miles are on it? How long? How good are the tires? Does the engine burn oil? Whatever.
Mhm.
So it's a readout of that particular contract. And the engagement letter says once I deliver that, that's the end of the engagement. It's not a sales pitch.
Yeah. Got it. Well, I asked someone who, so kind of a little bit of a side story, but sadly when my mom died 4 years ago, almost unexpectedly, because it was cancer, so we kind of knew it was kind of coming, but we didn't know it would happen that soon. And at that point, it was right after the pandemic, so sadly my dad didn't have a job because everyone sadly got laid off. And he was, of course, supporting my mom throughout the cancer treatments and everything. So when my mom passed, the life insurance was literally the buoy for my family. Basically, I had two younger sisters who were still going to college. So for a lot of that was kind of, for me, the light bulb to also start getting life insurance for myself. Of like, oh, that's what it is. And for a lot of people, hopefully it doesn't have to get to that point where you see the benefit of getting a life insurance. And then that's the kind of motivation, because that was for me. Like I'm now in my last year of my 20s, I'm 29. And then I remember it when I was 21, 22, my mom told me about it. Like, oh, you should get life insurance. I'm like, nah, I'm too young. It's,
I don't need that.
Yeah, I'm not, at that point, I was also not earning enough to make it make sense to get life insurance. But of course now like now I have a business, and I've been running it for a while. And I was like, when that happened with my mom, I was like, oh, that's the point of it. Like, okay. So I am definitely understand like how you also want to frame it. And I also see it, and I love the way that you just made it distinct of like the difference between buying into it or being sold into it. And for a lot of the insurance agents that I also talked to, I was definitely felt like I was being sold to. And it was hard for me to say yes or no when I was choosing the kind of agent I want to work with.
Yeah.
So it's such an interesting concept, and for a lot of people who would be watching or listening to this, hopefully it's something that you don't have to ever like have to experience losing someone first before you're like, oh, that's the point of it. So I love that that's the framework that you're getting people to. It's like you don't have to see it, you don't have to be the beneficiary to know how important this would be. So it's an important thing to keep in mind. So as with kind of like, actually, that would be a curious question. How, if any, has AI affected your industry at all? Like, has it made it harder or easier? Has it, how people use it instead of using an agent? Like, what has that been like in your industry?
Oh, it's a big challenge. It's change. Mm-hmm. That's the challenge. It's a change. Mm-hmm. But now they have algorithms mm-hmm. and AI, and a lot of the things that they had to do manually to issue a policy now gets done. I did a fairly large policy on a 55-year-old woman, mm-hmm. and she was completely healthy. I took the application. She was fine with it. We submitted it. Mm-hmm. She didn't even get an exam. I was completely shocked because overnight, they checked out her medical records and her prescriptions and things, and mm-hmm. it matched back. And she was an attorney. She is an attorney. So she had a profession. And mm-hmm. the next morning, we turned on the computer and the policy had been approved. No exam, no anything. Mm-hmm. And so now that algorithm, all the different companies are using it. And mm-hmm. none of them tell you what the parameters are. They don't
Yeah.
want you to know. So when you submit an application now, it filters through their individual AI system and their protocols.
Mm-hmm.
And then they come back and say, well, you need an exam or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And it's streamlined things a lot.
Yeah.
That's one way. Another way is AI is, to me, AI at this point is a lot of generalizations as well. And you can go on ChatGPT and look up life insurance. Well, it's going to be generic and not specific. So I'd like to think that I'm still necessary so that people can make an informed decision.
Mm-hmm.
But I can only imagine what it's going to be like 10 years from now. I have no idea. Do you?
That's why I'm kind of super curious, like how that affects that, because like before AI, how long would it typically take to get approved? Like what was the timeline usually that you were
60 days. 60 days.
So then now it's overnight, right? So then the way that I can see that, then the fact that that isn't your industry basically, I think it'll just have a shift on expected, like what's expected on the timeline, and also what the agents would be guiding them through. Because of course AI can only do so much. I was talking to someone the other day where AI is literally built to make us like it so we can keep using it, so we can keep studying how we use it. So I can still imagine that for agents, it's then their job is so much more important, because instead of just guiding people, you're then the filter to make sure that AI actually did a good job or did a kind of a very general crappy job. So it's I think that's where that would be evolving, is then you kind of still need human with experience, not a newbie, to recognize the red flags or the green flags when reading through a policy. So I think there's going to be a shift on the importance of it, just because we still need that human discernment and analytical skills to see if AI was right or horribly wrong, basically.
And can it be that specific for your particular case?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Versus like AI, just like, I saw 50 other cases similar to yours. You probably need this. You're like, no. We have this kind of difference, this kind of difference. So it's making sure that there's that customization.
It's the difference between making a really common dinner or making a really great common dinner. Sometimes you add just a bit more ingredients, a few spices, and it transforms it, right?
Exactly.
So do you want lasagna, or do you want great lasagna?
Maybe just a change of cheese, or change of maybe just using butter instead of oil. Yeah. So it's
you got it. That's it. I hadn't thought of it that way before. You just pulled that out of me, Leanne. But
there you go. Now you can use it in the future as well. So speaking of AI and all the good things that'll hopefully create, Frank, if we were to duplicate you, if we got to the point where we can create a perfect duplicate of Frank. We can make 100 Franks, 300, an army of Franks in the world. How would you want to shift or change the world? What would be the main thing that those other Franks would be doing?
My challenge is to have those other Franks just do this specifically, because it's a full-time job, and it's an area of expertise that I spend a lot of time keeping up with. So if you're a generalist and you're going to stay a generalist, you're not going to be able to do the same job that we do. But to your point, I spent the first 5 years of the business putting all the systems together, all the different technology and the systems to make it work, and have companies respond to me when we're requesting information. And then doing it in a time-sensitive way so that I could still do it at a profit and charge a nominal fee. How do you do that profitably? Well, 5 years, several scars, and a few headaches later, I have the system. So the only thing keeping me now is more demand. As more people Google life insurance audits or life insurance policy reviews, once that happens, I've got a cookie cutter. It's not McDonald's, okay? But you get a McDonald's anywhere in the world, and their cheeseburger is going to be the same, right?
Yep.
Okay, well, I have that recipe just like the McDonald brothers did. I put it together so that follow the system, you do a good job for the people, you'll do it profitably, and you'll be able to grow the business. So I'm headed that way. I need to get the demand up a little bit more and have it distinguished from the review that your brother-in-law at Metropolitan wants to do for you.
Yeah.
And will that change the world? Yes. There's a whole bunch of beneficiaries that are still going to be safe because the cash is going to be there when they need it.
Yeah. That's incredible. I like that also. The cash will be there when they need it. And you never know when you need it because life is funny and weird and has twists and turns that way. So thank you so much, Frank, for sharing your story, sharing also your passion for this. If people want to connect with you, people want to find you, how can people find and work with you, basically?
Well, the quickest way is on my website, which is stratusfp.com. Stratus like the clouds. Stratusfp.com. And we're coming up on Google, normally just behind the paid ads, and looking for policy reviews. That's the best way. You can also go on Amazon and look up my book. The book is titled How to Do a Proper Policy Review. No Beneficiary Left Behind.
I love that. And of course, you're very much active on LinkedIn, so we'll put all of your links below so people can check you out. Whether they're watching or listening to this, they're able to connect with you. So again, thank you so much for being on the podcast. And this was fun. You gave me a little bit of affirmation, validation on oh no, it's correct that I got my life insurance. So thank you so much for that.
You're more than welcome. Thank you for allowing me to be here.
Again, all of Frank's information is going to be found below. Whether you're watching or listening to this, you can just find them on our notes. Or on the 2XU website as well, we can find all of the other incredible and amazing guests that we've had on the podcast so far. Now, if you guys like this episode, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to hit the thumbs up button right there. Comment below if you have any questions for myself or Frank. And if you still haven't yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of the future episodes on the CLU podcast. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Remember that small steps matters, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye!